Tonight for embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The law firm representing Henyard and the village of Dalton in a slew of lawsuits is asking to withdraw from those cases.
A few moments later.
Potential trouble tonight for Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Fox 32 has learned that FBI agents served subpoenas on Friday at the Thornton Township Hall in South Holland, where Henyard is also serving as township supervisor.
A few moments later.
Dozens of residents joined in on a rally in Calumet City this afternoon.
The people who are gathered here say they want change and they want to take their township back. They're asking for greater transparency on how their tax dollars are spent.
So the supermayor's law firm has dropped her, the FBI is dropping more subpoenas on Thornton Township, and the residents at Thornton Township are rallying in the streets asking for the supermayor to resign. Welcome to another week in Dalton. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening in Thornton Township and Dalton, Illinois with our favorite super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. Now, so we are all on the same page. Tiffany Henyard holds two jobs. One, she is the mayor of the village of Dalton, Illinois. And on top of that, Tiffany Henyard is also the supervisor of Thornton Township. Now, Thornton Township is the umbrella government for 17 different villages and cities within Illinois. So since she's the supervisor of Thornton Township and the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, she puts it together and calls herself the super mayor. Now, I've done a ton of videos on the super mayor and the crazy things that she has been doing to this community. But what you really just need to know right now is that the money is funny. In Thornton Township, there's a $5 million budget deficit, and in Dalton is a $7 million budget deficit. Now, the big issue that's been happening within Thornton Township and in the city of Dalton is that they seem to be running out of money. No one can get paid. Now, this brings us to our first update. The lawyers for the city of Dalton, representing Tiffany Henyard, have filed a motion to withdraw, claiming that the city hasn't paid them.
Tonight for embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The law firm representing Henyard and the village of Dalton in a slew of lawsuits is asking to withdraw from those cases. The Delgado Law Group says it's not being paid, so it'll stop appearing in federal and state court and defending Dalton and Henyard in 22 different lawsuits.
Now, as you heard there, this law firm is representing this village of Dalton and Tiffany Henyard in 22 different lawsuits. Now, if you remember, recently Tiffany Henyard did an interview with Roland Martin where she said that she won 25 lawsuits using this law firm and that they were essentially undefeated.
Who sued you?
The trustees. They take me to court for anything they say, right? Then we go to court and I won. I won over 24 cases. Yesterday I just got word I won another case. So I'm 25-0. So how is it possibly the mayor of Dalton? People got to pause and think like, dang, she keep winning.
Now, after Tiffany Henyard went and lied about winning 25 lawsuits and not losing any, the trustees at the next board meeting called it out with some receipts. Check it out.
Any discussion? Yes. Can I be recognized? Sure, go ahead. So, of course, every month we sit here and listen to this. Why we shouldn't have legislative council. You get on TV and say you 25-0 and it's 25-0. And then, so I just had to pull all of the lawsuits that either been through the trustees versus Tiffany Henyard or Tiffany Henyard versus trustees. So exhibit 1, I'll be passing out. That's for just to clear this up for all these lawsuits that you're saying that you won, you didn't. We still have, it's never been more than 9, and there's still 4 open cases that's in court. So for you to constantly sit here and say, I won this case, can you provide documentation to see all these cases that you won? Because this is public information. It's not like I went and made it up or anything. Anybody can go to the Cook County Clerk of the Circuit Court and pull up Village of Dalton versus Tiffany Henyard or Tiffany Henyard versus Village of Dalton and see this stuff. So where is these 25 cases come from?
So it's amazing that you're admitting that I've been winning every case. So
I didn't say you was winning.
Yes, I
what I say you win?
You won one case. One.
You still have 14 cases.
Just so you guys understand what happened at that meeting, Tiffany Henyard is claiming that she won 25 cases. There's no more than 9 cases against the trustees on the books, and 4 of those cases are still pending. So Tiffany Henyard claiming that she was 25-0 is a lie. But now let's get back to the law firm. The law firm is saying that, hey, we're still involved in 22 cases that are pending, and on top of that, we haven't gotten paid. And even on top of that, the village may have a problem being insured because there's no money left. Check it out.
In a letter to Henyard and trustees obtained by Fox 32, the law firm says the village is facing millions of dollars in judgments from earlier cases and could potentially be on the hook for millions more in the current lawsuits, and says the village is quickly approaching the point of becoming uninsurable.
Now, the law firm quitting couldn't have come at a worse time. Last week, I told you how FBI agents served grand jury subpoenas, federal grand jury subpoenas at the village of Dalton for some information.
Jubilation in South Suburban Dalton after federal agents serve a pair of subpoenas on Village Hall, part of what appears to be a blossoming corruption investigation into Dalton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Directed to the village of Dalton's custodian of records, they're headlined "Subpoena to Testify Before a Grand Jury." One of the subpoenas asks for personnel and disciplinary files for 29 Dalton employees. Trustee Brown reviewed the list of names and told us they all have one thing in common.
All of these people are loyal to the mayor. Every last one of them are loyal to the mayor.
Ask you a couple questions.
The other subpoena asks for information about village administrator Keith Freeman. Focusing on Freeman asks for payments, tax records, and any contracts given to a list of companies, some of which are associated with Freeman according to a search of LLC records.
Now, you heard the name Keith Freeman. Now, why is Keith Freeman important? Well, Keith Freeman literally is the person who runs the day-to-day operations, not only in the village of Dalton, but in Thornton Township. And he was just arrested for fraud.
Federal prosecutors accuse Keith Freeman of making false statements in his bankruptcy petition. Freeman currently serves as village administrator and as municipality manager of Thornton Township.
Now, remember earlier when I told you that Tiffany Henyard both was the supervisor of Thornton Township and the mayor of the village of Dalton? Well, Keith Freeman also works as the number 2 person in Dalton and the number 2 person in Thornton Township. Now, because of this fact, the FBI has served subpoenas on Thornton Township.
Fox 32 has learned that FBI agents served subpoenas on Friday at the Thornton Township Hall in South Holland, where Henyard is also serving as township supervisor. One subpoena focuses entirely on Henyard, including 2 businesses she owns, a restaurant and a property management company, as well as Henyard's political fund and the charity bearing her name. It asks for all records, including personnel files, wage and tax statements, time and attendance, records of work performed, contracts, and checks written to cash.
If this is true and they've been writing checks to cash from Thornton Township, that's crazy.
The second subpoena requests a kitchen sink of township records, including financial reports, budgets, payroll records, and ordinances covering credit card purchases, expense reimbursements, security details, and the use of vehicles. The subpoena also asks for payments and credit card expenditures for a number of township employees, including Henyard's top lieutenant Keith Freeman, some township trustees, and Henyard's boyfriend, who runs the township's youth violence prevention program.
And even on top of that, the Tiffany Cares Charity Foundation, the one that she gave $10,000 of public funds to and spent all this public money to promote, well, the feds want to know where that money is.
And so are the feds, who ask for records of municipal resources being used on behalf of Friends of Tiffany Henyard, her political fund, and charitable organizations, including the Tiffany Cares Foundation, which involved a $10,000 donation of taxpayers' money made by the township.
So now the citizens of Thornton Township have had enough.
But yet the supervisor had made it clear in her own mind in the last meeting that we are the ones that are wrong. We have been called brainwashed, hoodwinked, and led astray. And she was bold enough to talk to residents that live and vote here as if they were subjects under her rule.
Come on, Ed. Come
No,
on.
Madam Supervisor, we are not brainwashed. We are fed up.
Hello.
Nobody said that we didn't think mental health was important. We just don't trust you to fix it.
At the annual Thornton Township meeting, Henyard is township supervisor, but tonight she was challenged by board members and the public. She was booed loudly at several points during tonight's meeting. Henyard said it's not fair for residents to ask so many questions in the township when she says they don't ask them in other communities.
Now, it's after this meeting that the residents learned that the person running their township is under FBI indictment for fraud, and the Thornton Township office was served subpoenas for corruption, possible corruption from a federal grand jury. So then residents protested on the streets.
Angry residents call for accountability and transparency as Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard and her associates face allegations of misuse of taxpayer dollars.
Well, dozens of Thornton Township residents gathered in this parking lot behind me to share their thoughts and concerns. They say they no longer trust township leadership. They want those at the top to resign.
All right, so that's your update on what's been going on in the city of Dalton from last week. Now, you could join us Monday, May 6, 2024 for Village of Dalton's next board meeting. Now, there were a lot of things that happened since the last board meeting. Like Keith Freeman, the guy who's running the Village of Dalton, just got arrested and indicted for bankruptcy fraud. The trustees hired former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate the supermayor. FBI has served 2 federal grand jury subpoenas on the Village of Dalton. And last but not least, the law firm that's representing her has dropped us, said they haven't been getting paid and that the village is in trouble. Sounds like what they're saying is financial trouble. So yeah, we're going to watch the madness Monday, May 6th at 6:30 Central Time because it's going to be cray-cray. Now don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.